Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Now Morning Show is happening right here on TTT and TTT Live Online. Thank you guys so much for being with us. I know that I've been saying over and over that on Thursday night, the thing to look forward to is Reflections, the concert with Patrice Roberts, because it's happening right here on the home of Carnival. But before Reflections, there's also something brand new happening right here on TTT, because we are the home of Carnival, and inside the home, we don't just focus on the fun, we also focus on the business of the Carnival as well. And help me discussing that this morning, I want to welcome Carla Paris, entertainment and sports lawyer.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, Carla.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. So, the business of Carnival is coming to TTT this coming Thursday.
Yes.
Now, this show this is the third season, am I?
That's correct.
The third season.
Third season.
And you've been discussing and featuring the business side to the industry that we love. You know, we love to party and we love to wine and we love to fet. Yeah. However, we don't often consider the business side of things. Tell me what inspired you to go down this road.
Well, because I've been practicing entertainment and sports law for a long time now. In fact, I've been a lawyer now for 17 years.
Right.
And I had my boutique practice for about 10. So about 3 years ago, I realized that there were so many people in the industry, you know, who are so talented, creative, but very few were actually generating long-term revenue.
Right.
And very few actually understood the structures involved in the business, understand what intellectual property is, you know. So I realized that education was really the route to go. So I started the series, you know, it was filmed in my aunt and uncle's living room.
Right.
That's where it started,
right.
You know. Shout out Auntie Val and Uncle Anthony Smart for being so supportive.
Right.
And yeah, so from there the series grew. I intentionally handpick people every season who I think are at the top of their game and who people in the industry can learn from.
Okay. And when you say learn from, you mean from a business perspective, because we see people who are popular, but they aren't necessarily successful business-wise.
And that's exactly the point.
Right.
So it's not about popularity. It's about people who have generated a level of success for themselves, but have put structures in place. Right. And also, the reality is, although many of them are out there and doing well and are popular, some of them still have a lot of learnings to do.
Of course.
In terms of law and understanding the connectivity between, if you're a musician, you know, do you have your production agreements in place? As a fashion designer, do you own your trademarks?
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of the show.
So a part of it is intellectual property, understanding intellectual property and owning intellectual property, understanding what that process means.
Yes.
I guess, and they deal with contracts and things like that as well.
Exactly. So it's largely about intellectual property, understanding whether you own what you are creating in all spheres of the industry, because we don't just, when people think Carnival, they just think musicians and soca artists, but there's so many spheres. So it's we focus on all areas of the industry: events, photography, fashion, music, and really, you know, as I said, kind of making sure that the discussion is centered around not just your popularity, but how are you owning and generating structures. You know,
who are some of the people that you would have featured before then? We've had examples.
Yeah, we've had Kester Fintala, we've had Fayan Lyons, I've had Jules Sobian from the events industry, I've had Anya Youngchi in fashion, Chandra Mirage in fashion, Dean Akin from the perspective of a band leader to understand, well, how has he grown his business? You know, people think it's just magic, but it's years and years, you know, of hard work. Of hard work, you know, to make sure that you have that sustainability. Okay,
so in season 3, it's now a pandemic.
That's right.
And, well, wait, before we get to season 3, season 2 was picked up by Caribbean Airlines.
Caribbean Airlines, that was truly amazed and really...
For me, the remarkable thing about this is that you're doing a show about the business of Carnival and you're showing people how you can use that product, which is yours, and you can use that product to be able to earn revenue. So tell me about that Caribbean Airlines deal.
Yeah, so we were really excited to be able to work together with Caribbean Airlines. They were interested in local content and, of course, you know, sort of supporting a series of this nature. So they were able to put the series on their aircraft in their in-flight app called Caribbean View. So when you went on board or whatnot, you know, there's a plethora of content you can look at. We were there.
Nice.
So season 2 was there, and people from all over the world, all over the region were able to log on, you know, watch the episodes, and sort of also it positions the persons on the show not just as creatives in their field, who people will be accustomed to seeing them, but also now as business minds, as entrepreneurs in their own right. And it also positions the Caribbean as an investment. You know, people could come now and invest in the region.
Because we have real business happening.
We have real business happening. I remember, for example, when we had Private Ryan on the show, a lot of people were shocked at how he storyboarded his events about a year in advance. His well-known fat Brainwash. People think, oh, you just show up to a Brainwash event and it's just magic again, that it's this themed event. But
Never
it's
magic.
a year that he put the themes, the concept, work with caterers, work with all of his production team to produce an event that rolls out and makes sense like that, and then all the contractual aspects to it.
Of course.
So we were happy for that Caribbean Airlines distribution. So as I said, not just educate and inform the public, but also position our Caribbean pioneers as entrepreneurs.
All right, so now let's get to season 3. Season 3, doing it here at TTT, the home of Carnival.
Yeah.
But we're in a pandemic. So I guess, how do we celebrate the business of a carnival that doesn't really happen?
Well, good question. And that's the point. So we're excited to partner with TV. You know, for the first time in the history of the series, it's exciting for us because we're going to reach a new audience as well. But we want to show that, yes, Carnival is not happening in the way that you and I are accustomed to, but people have been pivoting their businesses to enable them to have sustainable brands and so forth in the future. So we are featuring people. It's 4 specific people. I'm not going to tell you who.
Why not?
Because we want you to stay with us, grow with us, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. We're going to be dropping our promos today. So by this evening, you will see how our first guest is. But we're featuring people specifically who, despite the odds, have managed to generate money for themselves even when that news hit last year. So they were doing different things. They were either going online. They were either, you know, working in different ways.
So
wait, we're
telling the colors we're going to feature influencers?
Listen, it's not just influencers. It's people from all aspects who have been able to say, listen, we don't have Carnival. I'm not making money in the way that I'm accustomed to, but I've been able to sustain myself because I've done X, Y, Z. And that's the point. We want people, after you watch each episode, to have a key learning. You might be in events. You might be in music. You might be in fashion. And you're stuck. Well, I don't, because you're accustomed to every year having 10 and 11 carnivals to go throughout the world. But here's somebody who, like you, has been able to do something differently for herself. And that's what we want people to take from this.
I want you to take the hint that she just said for herself. I'm just going to take that hint there.
Oh, yes. That was quick. But listen, we have a lot of Carnival costume designers.
So not just is it a her, it's a her who designs costumes.
Well, it's a Carnival show.
We keep selling this out slowly but surely, because it could have been her who's an entertainer. It could have been her who is anything else in the industry, but we're selling it out slowly. Don't worry.
You're trying to get me into trouble here.
I just try to find out, you know, for the people. It's really for the people. But Carla, congratulations on this series. I think that it's a fantastic idea to begin with. And of course, I expect that it's going to continue to grow from strength to strength as it has been growing so far. So congratulations to you and the entire team that have been working on this project and will continue to work on this project going forward. Thank you so much for partnering with TTT. I think that, you know, bringing it to the home of Carnival only makes sense, as it's the business of Carnival.
Absolutely. I was excited to bring it. So when they approached us to you know, work with them and co-produce the series, I jumped at it because of the fact that TTT's been pushing local content. This is a local show, and education is important. And the other thing I wanted to just mention also, Raucus, is that as we move forward and we drop the episodes, we want to encourage people to head over to our website at thebusinessofcarnival.com, because we're now developing an ecosystem of education where you can watch an episode and then go to the website and access a masterclass for further learning on these topics, because that's the only way we're going to grow, is by educating ourselves.
I want to find out something. This might be a bit controversial, right? But I know you said all the people that you called there were basically private sector people who've been entrepreneurs, they've started their businesses from the ground up and stuff like that. Is there any aspect of this that we can feature the governmental bodies that run the Carnival?
The governmental bodies are very welcome to be on the show. At this point in time, we've specifically chosen to feature entrepreneurs because we want to to push entrepreneurship.
Right.
We're no longer in an era where you can expect to go to school, have an education, sit down in a job until you are 65 years old. COVID has shown that that is no longer the reality. So that's the thrust of this show. It's about pushing people to think outside of the box, and even once you have thought outside of the box and you were a designer or an event producer, it's not the end of the world that COVID has come. Here are some tools and some toolkits and some legal, education as to how you can move forward. So that's
Can it work for everybody, though? I mean, the industry is vast and wide, right? Every year for Carnival, we see people, we don't even know the amount of people that take part in various Carnival activities around their community or wherever they may be to be able to make money that continues and drives them for most of the year sometimes. Is there room online for all of these people to be able to, or in whatever pivot and form, is there room for people to be able to grow their businesses for everybody?
Absolutely room. And I like that you asked if it's just for Carnival. So although the show is called The Business of Carnival, the tools that we discuss and the educational tips and so forth really apply to everybody across the industry, entertainment industry, corporate sector. It's people who are involved in the creative fields are able to learn from us.
All right. Well, Carla, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. And congratulations on the Business of Carnival. It's right here on the home of Carnival, TTT. And, of course, you guys can check it out on Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss it. It's going to be fantastic. We'll be right back. When we come back, the king of the Juve is supposed to be here. I think I see him walking somewhere. So we go talk to him when we come back.